I'm doing the steering box today, Saturday morning. Thought I'd better get on with things. Now I sandblasted and painted it yesterday, and I've already taken the top cover off, and a little tip is to do these is to take the bleed screw out and turn it and put it upside down in a container, you know, like a can or something like that, and let it drain out overnight, otherwise you have oil everywhere. So I'm looking inside this, and it's very, very good. It looks beautiful. It doesn't look like it's full of water or anything. Well, who knows? So I'm going to strip it down completely, because I don't know what it's like. This was apparently on my Disco 1, but I'm not really sure if it's the same one. I sold it to a chap, and he was a really nice chap, and I said the only thing I need to salvage off it is the steering box, because you just can't get them now. A lot of people bought up all the Disco 1s and the Range Rover stuff, the early classic Range Rovers, and you just can't get the bodies anymore. I can't find them anywhere around here, so I haven't got many at all. So I've taken the grub screw out of here, still on my gun, that thing there, it's an inch size. I don't know what it is, but I had to heat it up to get it out. It rusted in. Now, one of the things is I'm using one of these Transtech systems. It's the old Cortico system, it's a genuine one. I was going to mention that those things here, that little grub screw, it's a locking pin. See that? See, it's got a bit of nylon on the end of it. A lot of people miss that out, and it isn't in the cheaper kits. Bear that in mind. So I've got to get this out of here, and it's tight. So I'm going to warm it up, because we're going to take the seal out. I sandblasted, like I say, I sandblasted this yesterday and painted it, because I don't want rust going on the inside. Now I've already given it a beat with a chisel here, so with a bit of luck with a big flat screwdriver, it should come out. There you go, look at that. It wouldn't move on the bench. There we go. Unfortunately, yeah, so there we go, that's a little oil seal in there we've got to replace. That's in the kit. It's a bit grubby inside, so that was a good call for replacing it. And I can see here, but you can't, that little nylon piece has just sort of melted away, so it's handy to get a full kit. One of the other things I was going to mention in these better quality kits is this nut that goes on the top. Where's the old one? Here. Now, when you get a Britpart kit, it hasn't got this conical washer here, this red washer, and that's actually a seal. Because the boxes are pressurised, they supply you with a regular nylon nut. What is it? Is it an M12? Yeah, I think it's M12. And that was it. So they leak out the top, unless you tighten them down monster tight, which is not good. So you can see there's a cone in there. So that cone fits in there. So that's why it's worth just that little bit extra money for the good kit. Then we'll turn this until the wheel inside is right onto a flat spot. Let me take the camera off and I'll show you. Oh, so there, you see where the wheel is? It's got to line up with this slot here. There are two, well, there's a slot here, but there's an even deeper slot here. So when we put this camera back on, you'll see I'll just knock up the shaft from the middle and the shaft should come out. Mallet. And there we go. Now this is one of the first things that we're going to be looking at. Yeah, this is one of the first things we're going to be looking at to see if we're going to go any further. We're going to have a look at the condition of this shaft here. If it's marked in any way or damaged, the whole box is scrapped. Where the seal goes on, you can perhaps see it's a little bit rusty, but there's no marks on there. So What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit of emery cloth and polish that up. I'm going to run this down to JP and put it in his lathe, and not turn it, but just see if we can polish it a bit. It's just on that borderline. See, like I say, you can't turn these down. You can't put a speedy sleeve across them or anything. You can't weld them. It's a tricky one. It really is a tricky one. So the next thing to take off is this nut at the back here. Now I can't really turn it around all that much because I won't be able to work it out. But I'm taking the nut off. There's a lock nut we can take off with a chisel. There we go. Heat. So the next thing, we're going to take off the nut on the end here. It was I don't know, it's an inch size. Whatever, I've just measured it up, it's 42mm. You'll have to work it out in inches. But JP took it down in his milling machine so we could fit a socket on that is 3/4 inch. So by putting a 3/4 inch socket on there, we should be able to get that nut off without any tears. Got a locking ring for. Oh, that was tight, wasn't it? Oh, that's going to be heavy. Oh, oh, oh. So the locking ring came off. You see why we make all these little tools and things like this? It doesn't have to make your life a lot easier. So now we should be able to knock this shaft out and see what the condition of the bearings is. And this is why I'm doing this video, because we're going to try and evaluate whether this box is worth salvaging or not. I don't know. This shaft. Because the bearing race runs on here and here. If there's any signs of bits and pieces, picks or burns or anything like any score marks, it's scrap. Now fortunately this is good. This is 750 quid from Land Rover. So you can see they're actually sometimes not worth salvaging. Well, that's good. Now we'll turn it upside down, or shall we? Shall we take the piston out? I think we'll turn it upside down and we'll get the seat back again. We're now going to take the snap ring off, and this is how easy it is to get these out with that shaft out. If you can see where the holes are. Put your finger in the hole for the snap ring because you don't want that flying around. Again, the kit's got a new ring in it, but we'll save it. Save that dust cover as well. So this is the steel ring, if it will come out. Like the dust cover. And there goes the seal. Let's try this over the shaft. Look. Now I know it's compressed a little bit in there, but there is it must have leaked like a bloody sieve, look. So now if the bearings here are in good condition, leave them alone. You can't really, you can buy them, but if they're in good order, leave them. Because remember, they only turn about 1/4 of a turn. They're not going round and round and round at 1,000 miles an hour. So the next thing is we're going to get this spring clip out of here and take the piston out. Or should we take this? I'm going to take this seal out of here because this looks easier to get out. Yeah, put your finger in the hole when you're taking it out, because otherwise, bing. Now, one thing about these seals here, there are several different types, and you don't know what you get until you get into the box. What What was this one like around the shaft? Not too bad. This is the low pressure side. Now, a little word about these rings here. They don't come in the kit, so don't pull them off thinking you're going to save time, and when they come in the kit there's nothing there. These flew on Teflon seals. The seal surface is good, so that's good. But like I said, this is the bit that controls your pressure. Now they can leak if they're damaged, but you need a special tool to put them on with, like something to slide over here. What you're supposed to do is heat them in hot water and slide them over. The early kits used to have them, these don't. Now, should you replace them? If it's pouring out of here, yes. But this one wasn't. I mean, the seal's quite good, but there was no signs of any leakage, so most of the time we leave them alone. We just put them to one side because, like I said, we haven't got any anyway. So that's that. One thing I was going to mention as well, if you're doing one of these, the inner bearing race there, leave it alone. If it's good, leave it alone. Why is that? Because there's some shims in there that set the distance for these pieces here. It's very important where these go. They can be moved with some shims this way or this way. If it's this particular box, good, leave it as it is. If you're mixing them up, you've got to recalculate the shims. Pain. And of course, when you're washing it out, make sure that if you do wash it out, the race comes and stays. The race comes out. If it does come out, then keep the shims. Don't mix them up. You know, they say in the books and things like that, don't mix things up. Well, this is really important. Now this, seeing as those shims are in there, I don't want to lose them. I'm going to put a big tie wrap around there so they don't come out. Really important. Now this snap ring in here, I might as well show you. This snap ring here, it comes out by punching a hole here to release the spring. But as you can see, the tail end of the spring is here, not here. So I'm going to put this in the vise and with a wee punch knock it round. Now this is why I sandblast all these out first before I strip them down, because you can get all the rust and nasty out. By doing this, it loosens off the rust and things like that that's there. So what you're doing is you're pushing a screwdriver in here in this hole, lifting the clip up so you can get a screwdriver under the end of it and then sort of work it out. Not work it out like mentally work it out, but there we go. See? The cap is somewhat reluctant to come out. Oh no, it was moving. Let's go around it with a small screwdriver and see if we can get that rust out. See, there's no way to pull this out. There's no puller on it. They expect it's going to come out. You just pop it in. You know, it's only held in with some seals, but it's also held in with a rust. And there's no way under there to get it out. Of course you don't want to bang it on here too much because you don't want to burr those ends over. Ah, there she goes. There she goes. Yeah, you can see there's a ring of rust on there, that'll clean up. And in here we should have a piston. There we go, because we're going to change that seal on here. So, is this box salvageable? Oh, see, look here. You see why I put the tie wrap around it? There's the shims and the ring. They've all come out. And I'm going to leave that in there because that's going in the parts washer next. I'm going to sand out this. This is not going through the sandblaster. This, because I don't want to get sand in the bearings, and you can see why I sandblast the outsides first. So I think that's about it for stripping this down. We can't go any further. I'm just a little bit concerned about this shaft. I've been doing some inspection on this, and I actually found in my container a steering box with a very, very good shaft as compared to this one we've just taken out. Right, so if we look at this, we can see here, this is where the seal runs. Okay, there's a little bit of a mark there, but not too bad. Again, polish it out. But I thought the seal went up to here, and it doesn't. It goes here. And when I look at this, there is a groove in this one. And the shaft diameter is, I think it's 3175 or 317. 317. But when I go onto the groove here, 3168. Wait a minute. Yeah, 3144. So this is down, and I think it's possibly scrap. This is why these steering boxes are so expensive to get reconditioned, because this piece again is about 700 quid. You can buy a box for that. Well, I'm not sure if you can still buy them, but we can't do much with that. So check these things, because like I said, when we get a new seal, there's the new seal, we put it on there, it's going to hit just nice, you know, it's nice and tight. But when we compare it with the old seal, which is, you can see that I don't know how it was actually sealing at all. Look at that. So I think that it's just a shame really that in the steering box itself there's no way to pull that out a little bit to put a shim behind it so it's running on a nice piece of steel. I really don't know. I've got to look into this. Just some little bits and pieces to look for. I took a little wire brush, like a little wire wheel like this, and I've cleaned out all the insides of here. It's all nicely polished, and you know, it was a bit messy, but let's move that out of the way. But what we've got to do now is just inspect all the bits and pieces. We've got to inspect this cylinder here to make sure there's no grooves or cuts or anything like that, because this piston here runs inside that, and you don't want this to leak. You know, it's got to go in there and it's got to be polished. This one, fortunately, is quite nice. You know, it's quite nice. So I'm just going to get my little light out and inspect it. Oh yeah, no, that's beautiful. Nothing wrong with that at all. The casing's good. Everything around it's good. The bearings are good. Inside here where the seal goes, that's good. You have to take your word for it. That's all good. So what we can do is, what I'd like to do is put this together again and see where this comes out, because it's easy to take this shaft in and out. So what I think we'll do, it's just about lunchtime now, so I'll clean up the bits, clean up all the bits and pieces, we'll assemble this again, and then we'll put the shaft in just temporarily, because we can adjust it on this top screw in and out so we can get the right backlash. Once we've established that, we can see where this seal's going to go, then we can take it out again and we can observe where the seal is going to run on this shaft. I could be wrong, it could be where that one runs. See what I mean? That goes onto here, sort of, and it might run on here. So I might be, this might have caught here, I can't remember. Anyway, go and get some lunch and then we'll work it out.